Hey everybody, Adam Phillips here for Dynamite Entertainment, and today we're talking to Dan WICKLINE, who is the writer of the upcoming original graphic novel Karma, which is being crowdfunded right now. And we wanted to talk a little to Dan about what it's about and how it came about, things like that. So Dan, if you want to give us a start.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. This story, actually, I started writing it surprisingly 3 years ago today.
Hmm.
I got it this morning, checked Facebook, and my memory was me talking about how I'm starting this new project that was unlike anything I've done before, which is a really good way to describe this. It's an erotic romantic graphic novel, which again I've done. I've worked on Shadowhawk and 30 Days of Night and Sinbad and a bunch of books for Dynamite and stuff like that. But romance has never been a genre I had tackled before. So it was something new for me, but it was also something I had to approach from a much more personal place to be able to do it right.
Mm.
You
And this is a much more modern, it's more like Sex in the City kind of romance where there's actual sex in it than say, Simon and Kirby romance.
Yeah. Well, originally Nick Perucci came to me and said that he had been interested in putting out a romantic slice of life, adult style graphic novel, and he wanted to know if I could do it. And I've always had the attitude of, well, I can write anything if you give me a chance.
That's great.
So I jumped at the chance, put together a synopsis. I actually worked a lot with my best friend, Lisa Warby, who basically I would come up with the ideas and she'd go, okay, you're thinking like a guy again. And then help me kind of narrow it down into the story. So yeah, she was invaluable on this, just from having another set of eyes on it, from the opposite sex point of view. But yeah, it was a very interesting project. And but like I said, I wrote it 3 years ago, gave it to Joe, and he went, okay, and he ran off and came back with this amazing graphic novel.
Wow. Joe being Joe Rybant?
Joe Rybant.
Sure. The editor at Dynamite. And the illustrator is Carlos Reno, who is did some awesome work.
Yeah. Carlos is amazing. Also the cover artists on it. Michael D. Pascal is somebody I had worked with over at Avatar on. We did a backup story for the book God is Dead. We did an 8-part backup story that ended the run of the book. And I just had kept in touch with him after that. So when this came up, I'm like, hey guys, what about Michael as a cover artist? We got him to do the regular and the naughty version of his cover. Then we reached out to Stepan Sejic and Mirka Andolfo and got covers from them. And
fantastic.
I couldn't be happier. I mean, right now it's kind of it's almost fun to watch to see where everybody's putting their money on, the fans that each one of those bring, because they all three have huge fan bases.
Yeah. So it's crowdfunding right now on Kickstarter, and we're recording this on January 19th. There's still about 16 days to go, and we're into the stretch goals. And yeah, if you contribute, you can choose which version you want, which cover, and there's other bonus items as well. But yeah, having Stepan and Mirka and of course Michael doing all these covers is really fantastic. I mean, Stepan and Mirka in particular have big followings, so it's very cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, Stepan has been doing Sunstone for so many years, and if you talk to Matt Hawkins over at Top Cow, he'll tell you flat out that's their best-selling book ever. And it's only the trades, and it's only, I mean, Stepan puts those pages up on DeviantArt first, so everybody who's buying the book has already had a chance to see it for free, and the book sells like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Why
don't you, if you could tell us a little more about the story and the characters, maybe?
Okay. It was kind of interesting writing this because I didn't want to sit down and go, you know, a normal way I would write, which is beginning, middle, end, just kind of let it go. Instead, I really looked at the characters and I wrote it from their point of view. And then I borrowed some of the more bizarre things that happened in my life as a photographer or sometimes as a comic writer. But I've had a lot of strange things happen. And so I borrowed a handful of those things as kind of the events that would happen. But I made my main character, Alex, a advertising photographer, because the difference between an advertising photographer and a model photographer is 1,000 miles. You know, an advertising photographer is the guy that knows that if you're going to make a picture of a hot fudge sundae, you don't use ice cream, you use mashed potatoes.
Right.
You know, those kind of things. He knows all those tricks. A model photographer, that is completely different. You have to know how to work with the model, make them comfortable. And that's there's so much rapport to build with the model before you even take the first shot, and worry about lighting and makeup and all that. You don't have to get a rapport with the mashed potatoes. They pretty much just do what you want them to do.
That's true.
So I took this character who's very already out of his element, and I decided to put him in this world. And growing up, there was a lot of movies in the 80s and 90s. I can never think of the name of them, but like Jeff Goldblum did this movie where he hooked up with this girl in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah.
And
Into the Night.
Into the Night. Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to think of it that way, that Alex is this straight-laced guy who, he's had regular girlfriends, he's had regular relationships, suddenly gets pulled into this world of this up and coming supermodel.
Right.
And having hung out with a lot of models and even adult film actresses, their world is very different. They're much more open, much more, there's one in particular friend of mine who, whenever I would go down to see her and hang out with her, she'd be like, okay, I got to take a shower, come keep me company. And then I'd be sitting on the toilet in the bathroom talking to her as she's standing in the shower, taking a shower.
Yeah. Right.
And I can't think of any time I had been to her place that she wasn't naked at some point, but I wasn't there to date. It just that whole openness about, and a lot of models are that way.
Yeah.
So I took that idea and I created this character, Karma, which is she's kind of an amalgamation of some of the amazing women that I have either worked with or known in my life. And I put these two together and just wanted to do like the Into the Night type story, but as a romance, as how would actually dating those two different characters meet and date. And the first idea was, you don't put them together romantically, you put them together work wise, and then let the romance grow from there. And it was a lot of fun to write, because once I got the characters started and I started their romance, I could then, like I said, borrow from here and borrow from there from my own life to figure out how to move things forward.
Right. So you must have a closet full of photography equipment still, right?
Oh yeah, I always have a camera near me.
Nice. Is that your favorite one, or is that?
This is my most recent one. I have always used Canon SLRs. I switched to digital probably 15 years ago. I used to do everything on film, and it got really expensive. And then when digital started, I remember my first digital camera was a 2 megapixel. And now, this one, I don't even remember what it is, but this is a Canon D80 that I bought a couple years ago. I had the Canon 50, I had the Canon Rebel. I've always just stuck with Canon.
Yeah.
They've been absolutely great.
Well, Dan, this is awesome, and appreciate you're telling us about the project. We're gonna have the link to the Kickstarter page below in the comments, so anyone who's interested can just click on that and go ahead, and you've got time, but not a lot of time, to contribute and get in on this while you can. So thanks very much for your time, and I hope to see you around one of these days. And who knows, maybe we'll be talking about Karma 2 sometime in the future.
Hopefully.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Evan.
All right.